3-on-1 LSU.
Wow.
Days high low. Eason.
Oh, yeah.
Wilkinson out front to Murray. Here's Eason.
I'll see you in San Antonio.
Yo, it's your boy Dctree, and this is Dctree-Nation, the channel on YouTube that covers hoops and heroes. And today we're talking hoops. We're talking about San Antonio Spurs, y'all. And by now, it's public knowledge that we will have 3 first-round picks in this year's draft. So it's fun to speculate who the Spurs should pick. But I have to admit, my content has been pretty focused on that lottery pick that we're getting. You know, as of this video, it's probably going to be number 9 if we play the numbers. But, you know, beyond that, and I want Jalen Duren to be our number 9 pick, by the way. Check that video out. That link is above. But beside that, we got to figure out who we're picking at number 20 and number 25. So when I think about late first round picks, the name Tari Eason keeps coming up, man. It keeps coming up. But I got questions about his size. Is he big enough? But before I jump too deep into it, if you like my content, please sub to the channel, hit that like button, don't forget to hit that bell for more videos. Thank you so much for the continued support. Okay guys, I am not going to keep you long, so stay to the end of the video and check your boy out. Okay, Easton is one of those players that looks good. He has a good highlight reel, he has good hands, he has a good IQ or whatnot. But one thing that concerns me is his size, because, you know, the San Antonio Spurs, we do have a lot of wing type players, a lot of, forwards that can play the 3 and the 4. Keldon Johnson is already that type of player. Devin Vassell is really molding himself into that type of player, because, you know, for the longest we thought he was going to be our shooting guard, maybe our small forward, but Popovich did play him at the power forward throughout the year several times. So when you look at a guy like Easton, you gotta wonder, like, what is he bringing to the table that we don't already have? Now, he's listed as a combo forward, he's been listed as a power forward, a small forward, but when I look at his size, he's 6'8", you know, around like 215. You know, I'm kind of concerned because the Spurs do need size. They need someone who can bang. And that's why I'm such a big Jalen Duren type of guy, a big Keegan Murray type of guy, because we do need a legit size on this team, because we do have a lot of tweeners already. So I wonder if, you know, Easton will bring anything that we don't already have. Now, granted, he is, you know, great on the defensive end, great hands, several steals, several blocks, a defensive-minded player. He's a little raw offensively, but like I said in so many other videos, I think our offense is clicking for the most part. We do go through stretches, droughts, and whatnot, but that can, you know, be remedied with experience and with better coaching practices. We need to focus on defense, man. Our defense is terrible at the basket, man. People get what they want. We just got burned by CJ McCollum, which is really on the downside of his career, and he burned us in the play-in. So when I think of those type of games, maybe Easton is the type of player we need. He is athletic. He is, you know, long. You know, he isn't afraid to run the floor. He isn't afraid to get his hands dirty. So maybe we need to rack up on players like him. As I did my research on Easton, you know, something kind of worried me when I saw it. I mean, he was the SEC's sixth man of the year. You get what I'm saying? And being the 6th man of the year, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you start dealing with first round picks and the Spurs, you know, for the Spurs, this is a very important draft. You know, you're kind of rolling the dice if you're not going with a starter. But the further I looked into this situation, it was a peculiar situation, because although he was a 6th man and he was the 6th man of the year and everything like that, he led LSU in scoring in 17 points per game, which is pretty hefty, especially for a bench player, and a very good task for someone who didn't start. Now, I don't know if that was strategic. I don't know if he prefers coming off the bench. You know, if you know, let me know in the comments. I don't know if it's like some type of, you know, voodoo or superstitious type thing going on here. Maybe he starts so well off the bench that he asked the coach to keep him on the bench, even though he's pretty much the best player, one of the best players on the team. And I'm telling you, no one else was close to his 17. I think the next player had like 13 points per game. So this isn't a fluke that he's leading them in scoring. So I was curious about that. But when you really think about how the Spurs are constructed, man, we don't necessarily need all starters in this draft. You know, we just need real players that can compete and defend and make us a quicker, faster, and more athletic team on both ends of the floor. And Eason could very well do that. But again, I'm curious to see if he will bring anything different than what Keldon or Vassell is going to bring next season, because I expect both of those guys to take, you know, a massive leap. So you gotta question, you know, you really have to roll the dice at this point and say, hey, are we going to keep getting these tweeners? Are we going to keep regurgitating these same formula type players? Or are we going to take some chances on some 7-footers, man, which we really need, because outside of Hurdle, you know, we're looking kind of thin. I know people like Collins, and I know people like, you know, your boy from Australia, but, you know, those guys haven't really had the consistency. Now, granted, you know, because of injury, because of Pop being Pop, they haven't really necessarily, you know, Landale hasn't necessarily gotten his, you know, due process when it comes to minutes, consistent minutes. Maybe that'll change next season. But as we're currently constructed, man, I'd rather just go with the traditional back to the basket power forwards, or at least a stretch forward with size. That way, you know, we are a bigger team, because man, when we go against bigger teams, whoo, they make us look bad, man. I still remember Boban off the Mavs killing us, man. And we just got to stop that. I'm tired of seeing that. So at the end of the day, all in all, man, I think he's a good player, and I think he'll be a good pickup for the Spurs. But as we're currently constructed, you know, I don't know when he will play. You know, you got Keldon, you got Vassell. What if we keep Lonnie Walker? Lonnie Walker, again, is, I think, more of a small forward than a power forward. But still, he's still kind of like in that realm of getting minutes at that position. You still got Primo, although Primo's playing more of the shooting guard position, but he sometimes plays a small forward. It just seems like we got a lot of the players that are the same size, you know, 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", up in there. And this guy's listed at 6'8", but you know how that goes. He could very well just be 6'6". So I don't know if he's big enough to really help us make an impact. We need to get back to the, you know, the 6'9", 6'10", 7-foot guys, 6'11" guys, because we need that size and we need that skill set, man. We're missing that. We probably need to move Keldon back to the 3. Get a power forward that can help us now. Keep Pirtle at the 5 and see if that helps us, and see if that helps us defensively and keeps us going. Because then you will have a solid squad. You know, Murray at the 1. You know, leading the defensive charge. Keldon at the 3. You know, a defensive minded power forward at the 4. And then, of course, Pirtle has improved defensively at the 5. And then you have a plethora of options to go at the 2. You can go Lonnie Walker. You can go Primo. You know, you can go Vassell. And Vassell, he's a defensive player. So we'll really click if that happens. So when I think about our roster as it is currently constructed, I'm not sure if this guy is big enough. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Let me know in the comment section, if you feel like this is a good pick for the Spurs, or do you want more size? Or hell, let me know if you want another guard. You know, that's a possibility, man. I got a video about that as well. All right, guys, thanks for kicking it with me, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.